Om Sadashivasamārambhāṃ Shankarācārya-madhyamāṃ Asmadācārya-paryantāṃ Vande Guru-parampārāṃ. Om Vāng me manasi pratishtita.
Om Vāng me manasi pratishtita.
Mano me vāci pratishtitam.
Mano me vāci pratishtitam.
Aviravirma ethi.
Aviravirma eti.
Vedasya mahani isthaha.
Vedasya mahani isthaha.
Shrutam me ma prahasihi.
Shrutam me ma prahasi.
Anena dhitena.
Anena dhitena.
Ahoratran sandadhami.
Ahoratran santatami.
Ritam vadishyami.
Ritam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Tanmamavatu.
Tanmamavatu.
Tadbhaktaramavatu.
Tadbhaktaramavatu.
Avatu mam.
Avatu mam.
Avatu bhaktaram.
Avatu bhaktaram.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
We were looking at the Aguna Upasana, which bAlAki Gargyaha, bAlAki is teaching the Kashi Raja, ajAtashatru. Here he had already talked about the Saguna Brahma Upasana with reference to the Devatas, Adi Daivatam. And then he started the now Upasana with reference to the Atma, Adhyatma, with reference to oneself. Means again you can do Upasana, all the Devatas, or all the phenomenon which is happening in your own body, you can visualize that as Brahman and do Upasana. So in this I think we first saw that he said, I see the Aarsha Purushaha, correct? So Aarshe Purushaha Tameva Aham Upase iti. So whoever is appearing in the mirror, the Pratibimba, I do Upasana of that Pratibimba itself as Brahman. So in that context I also told you that the traditional understanding of Pratibimba is slightly different from how you normally understand. So even in the Pratibimba you are actually seeing only the same object, and in reality the Pratibimba is non-different from the Bimba. That's how we see it. Only the whatever changes are there in the Upadhi alone are there. And even in that interesting, that's why mind is the Upadhi in which the Chit Pratibimba is there. But Chit Pratibimba is not different from Chit. But you don't know that. That is the ignorance we are talking about. And for the mind also, any reflecting surface distorts. That distortion itself is avidya. Okay? Due to avidya it gets distorted, or whatever the upadhi dharma is the one which is distorting it. But chitta shuddhi means the clearer it becomes, then it is going to show a truer picture, correct? So even the chitta shuddhi and all is also looked upon in that manner, where you have to have a mind which truly shows you what the swarupa of Atma is, which is not there to start with. So like that, anyway, so if you do the Upasana like this, for this the phala is very interesting. They say that your progeny will be like you only, there will not be any other way. Okay, na pratirupaha eva asya prajayam ajayate. So that we saw already. Now what? Again the Adhyatma Upasana only continues for some more. So in all these things again, in general, bAlAki is teaching Saguna Brahma Upasana. That is the same both in this Upanishad and in Brihadaranyaka. But here I think more Upasanas are given, and sometimes even the Visheshanas and Phala are all somewhat different in this Upanishad. But in general, we can understand that it is bAlAki only knows Sagunam Brahma, he doesn't know Nirgunam Brahma. That we will see later. So further he is saying what Saho vacha bAlAki eva yesha pratishrutkaya purushaha tameva ham upaseti. So pratishrutka means here pratidhvani means echo. So the echo itself is looked upon as Brahman. See, in what all we are seeing Brahman, everything we are seeing Brahman. So the echo as a phenomenon, in that I do upasana. And then what, even this ajAtashatru says, I know this already. Okay, so we don't have to have a Samvaada on this, because I know this already. In fact, I will give you some more Visheshanas and also the Phala. What is that? Tamho vacha ajAtashatru mama etasmin samavada ishta dvitiyaha anapagaha iti vaham etam upaseti. So, dvitiyaha anapagaha means this dvitiyatvam means what? You are never alone. You are always with another person or somebody else. Means here you will always be with your wife. That's how we have to take, I think, if you are married. So, and anapaga means one who never leaves you also. So without any separation, you will be together always. So that is how the dvitiyaha anapagaha means. So I also do upasana of this Brahman as the one which has another always together, and also that one is inseparable also. So if you do upasana like this, what will happen? Itiva aham etam upaseti sayoha etam evam upaste vindate dvitiyan bhavati. So if you do upasana like this, from the dvitiya means from your wife you will get another child. So dvitiyan bhavati. So like this, that is the phala here. Dvitiyan bhavati. From the second one, you will get a dvitiya putra or putri. Like this, it is said here. Then, so this is done. Then what? Saho vacha bAlAki eva yesha shabdaha purusham anveti tamevaham upaseti. So shabdaha purusham anveti. So purusham anveti shabdaha means the sound which comes when somebody moves, correct? Means your heavy breath and all that. Yesterday we were all climbing the hill, we were all breathing heavily and making a sound also, correct? That heavy breathing sound itself is taken and you do upasana of that sound as Brahman. Okay, this is there, even Brihadaranyaka also this is there. Okay. Tameva aham upaseti. So if you do upasana of that heavy breathing sound, then what? Even here again bAlAki says, tamha uvacha ajAtashatru mama etasmin samavada ishta asuhu itiva aham etam upaseti. So I do upasana of this sound as breath, he says, asuhu. And then what? Sayoha etam evam upaste Navu eva swayam na asya praja pura kalat sammohameti. So again this kind of a phala is coming repeatedly in this. It is very interesting. So he says the one who does upasana like this, you are doing upasana on the breath. Breath means you are alive. That is the point. So even there the pratidhvani also, why the pratidhvani and dvitiyatvam is because pratidhvani is always with the dhvani, correct? You cannot separate the two. Echo means, so somewhat the phala, all these things will be related. You have to see some that's why it is called guna and there is some connection with that guna. Gaunam, it is all. So here he is saying what? But the phala here is interesting. So that means the breath will not go away. Like that we have to take. So he says they will not die before the time comes or whatever. Okay, before the appointed time. So So Yogya Samaya has to come, then only all your karma you will exhaust and then only die. Pura Kalat Na Sammohameti Praja, particularly your children. Okay. Swayam also. Swayam, you also will not die beforehand, your children also will not die. Okay, then what? Saho vacha bAlAki ye vayesha chayayam purushaha tamevaham upaseti. So the shadow. So now shadow is another phenomenon, and that even the shadow is looked upon as Brahman. So shadow also is normally taken as tamas or ignorance and things like that. Okay, because the shadow only covers, correct, even in eclipse. The shadow covers, either it is the moon shadow which is covering the sun, or earth shadow which will cover the moon, etc. like that. So eclipse means there is a covering is there, but that covering itself is not real, correct? The shadow is not something which is a real entity or anything, but still it covers. That is the idea here. Ajnana also is something like that. So tamas, ajnana, shadow and all, they are looked upon similarly. So the shadow you do upasana, and again ajAtashatru is saying the same thing. Then here what does he say? Mrityuhu itivaham etam upaseti. So I do upasana of this chaya as Mrityuhu. Okay. So this Mrityu, even in Vedanta Upanishad, the Mrityu is always looked upon Nama Rupa. The Mrityoho Rupam is nothing but how does death come means it comes in the form of name and forms only. That is because names and forms themselves are Ajnana Karya. So again Ajnana and Mrityu are always looked upon as one. Mrityu is nothing but ignorance alone is Mrityu, really. Or any name and form itself is Mrityu because it is subjected to time, correct? Anything which is subjected to time, anything which is in time is nothing but of the form of death only, because it has to go away in time. So that is something we have to understand here. So it is saying Mrityuhu itivaham etam upaseti sayoha etam evam upaste nau eva swayam na asya praja pura kalat pramiyate. Again what this, it is the same thing. So the phala is what means you don't, pramiyate means getting dying also mean. Okay. So again this upasana phalam is same as the previous one, that yourself and your praja will not die before the time comes. Okay. And then what further? Saho vacha bAlAki ye vayesha shariraha purushaha tamevaham upasayiti. So shariraha purushaha, the one who is the dehi, correct? The one who pervades this entire body, that purusha I do now upasana. Okay. Then bAlAki again what says? I also have done this upasana, and but I also what? I do upasana of this Sharira Purusha as Prajapatihi, he says, correct? Prajapatihi tivaham etam upaseti. So the Prajapati, because whenever we talk of the Dehi, in the Vyashti or in the individual also, all Devatas are all functioning in the body. And then who is the Dehi means Dehi can only be Prajapati, correct? Similarly in Samashti also the same thing. Prajapati is the one who identifies with the total. In that total again Devatas are all functioning like as organs in Prajapati's body, like that. So here, so Prajapati, I do upasana of this Shariraha Purushaha as Prajapatihi. And then what is the phala here? Here the phala is at least different, okay? So he says what? Sayoha etam evam upaste prajayate prajaya pashuddhihi. Means for him there will be lot of children, and pashu means wealth here basically. They will all grow. His family also will grow along with cows and wealth. Okay. So that is the upasana phala. Then what? Samvaada bAlAki vayesha prajnaha atma yena etat suttaha okay swapnam acharati tameva aham upaseti. So the prajnaha purushaha means one who identifies with the buddhi vijnanamaya, and through that only the one who sleeps again projects a dream world, and then in that you also become part of that dream world. Right? That is the beauty. Even though the entire dream world is not separate from you, but once you enter the dream world, you are as though separate from everything in the dream world. And the tiger is chasing you in the dream world and you are running desperately. Correct? Something like that. This dream tiger is given as an analogy by Bhashyakara also. Because one of the things Jaitin says, this Veda, okay, what is the status of the Veda? Because this Veda is giving you valid knowledge. That Veda itself is true, Satyam or Mithya, they ask. Okay. Now if you say Veda is Satyam, then the Dvaita will come anyway. Other than Brahman, there is Veda. If you say Veda is Mithya, means whatever Veda teaches is invalid, like that they say. That's why the Advaitin says Veda need not be valid. A dream tiger is good enough to wake you up from the dream, correct? The dream tiger is not real. It need not be real. You think it is real during dream, that is good enough. And it can wake you up. After you have woken up, even Veda is Aveda only. That the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad itself says that. In fact, the Swayam Jyoti Brahmanam only, even your everything is not that. Once you have woken up, means its reality is no more the same, correct? So like that, the dream tiger is equated to the Shruti, which is Antyam Pramana, Bhashyakara says. It is the final Pramana, because after this the Pramanas also lose their status as Pramana, because even your status as knower also is gone. You are no more even a knower. The knowership also is something coming and going. You don't have to be a knower all the time, correct? Only when the known is there, you are the knower, correct? That's what we saw already. Only when the subject is there, the object is there. Only when the object is there, subject also is there. They are mutually dependent. But I am there independent of both subject and object. My existence is the one which is supporting both the subject and object, and that is what we have to understand. I am there even when subject-object duality is not there. For that, sleep itself is the pramana. Every night we have that. Okay, that is why the avasthatraya viveka is very important to understand the nirvishesha swarupa. That the swarupa is really advayam. And whenever the Upanishad talks about the advayam brahma or advaitam atma, it always just uses the words. But whenever dvaita is talked about, Upanishad always uses yatra dvaitam iva pashyati. So the ivakara is very important. Jayati iva, lelayati iva, like that. You as though think, you as though are active or do something. So like this, the as though, everything, dvaita is only as though, dvaitam iva, nana iva. So, anyway, here, so he says what? I do upasana of the one who is moving around in the dream. Means that prajna itself is the one, the mind alone projects and mind alone is active in your dream world also. That vijnanamaya or prajna itself is Brahman. I do upasana of that. So even that this ajAtashatru says, yes, I also have done this upasana, so you don't have to teach me this. And how do I do upasana? Yamaha Raja iti va aham etam upaste. So then this person is the Yamaha Raja. So Yamaha means Yamayati iti Yamaha also you can take, because the mind is the one which is impelling everything else, correct? In the dream world particularly, it is entirely mind. It is the projection of the mind alone. So you can take it Yamaha from a Vyutpatti standpoint, otherwise you have to take it as Yamadharma Raja, as the Devata. So Yamaha Rajeti va aham etam upaseti sayo hayetam evam upaste sarvam ha asma idam sraishtyaya gamyate. Okay, so the one who does upasana like this, for him what? He is the best, he is the sreshtaha. Like that, everybody accepts that he is the greatest and all that. Okay. He is the best. Sraityaya gamyate sarvam. Everybody else accepts. Okay, then what? Okay, it's not still over. 3-4 things are there, I think. So, saho acha bAlAki vayesha dakshine akshan purusha tameva aham upaseti. So, next is what? The purusha who is there in the dakshina aksha means your right eye. Because normally dakshina is always right, because you are supposed to be facing the east. If you face the east, the south is always the right side. In fact, the dakshina aksha purusha, even during our madhyanikam every day, we see the sun with only the right eye, correct? And there is a particular way and all we have to see. Keep your hand like this. There is a nice prayer is there. Okay. So whoever is the purusha who is there operating behind the right eye, who identifies with the right eye, that purusha also is Brahman. And ajAtashatru knows this also. Okay. And then what? Who is this Dakshina Akshan Purusha? Now basically what will happen is in the next few, you will see that even in the Vyashti, you will then see the Samashti, start seeing. And then the Sarvatma Bhava also will come as one of the Phala. But that is not due to the Jnanam. This Sarvatma Bhava is Upasana Phala. So here he says what? The Phala for this is, he is saying, this Atma, he is saying, right? Nannaha, I think it's Namni. Nam. So it should be the Atma of Nama. Namasya Atma. So, Namna Atma. It should be Namna Atma. Namnaha Atma. Then Agniratma. Jyotishta Atma. So all this, the Atma of names, or the self of the names, self of Agni also, and self of the Jyoti or Prakasha. So in this manner I do Upasana, because through the eyes only you know the names and forms and all that, correct? The eyes are the ones which are shining, all that. So it is the self of all these things also. In this manner I do Upasana. And then what is the Phala? Sayo hayetam evam upaste yetesham sarvesham atma bhavati. So even for this, he becomes the Atma of all these things, whatever was mentioned before. Okay. Then Dakshina Aksha is over. Then the other Aksha also, correct? Saho vacha bAlAki vayesha savyekshan purushaha tameva aham upaseti. Okay, Savyaksha means the other Aksha means the left side is called. And then what? Tam hovacha ajātashatru mama etasmin samvādaishthāha satyasya atma vidyutaha atma tejasaha atmeti va ahametam upaseti. So this satyasya atma means the satya here we can take it as sat and tyat also. Okay. The one who is the atma of all that is tangible and intangible. Also we can take. And one who is the atma of the vidyut and tejas. Again, all these things are all one is like external. There the external thing is first what we saw, nama. Here satya is rupa we have to take. Okay, one eye is seeing the names, another eye is seeing the rupa, and again for that you need whatever this eyes are sentient, correct? That sentiency is looked upon as the self of something which is bright always, or the jyotis. That's why vidyutaha atma, tejasaha atma here. All this. And the one who does upasana like this, what is the phala? Sayoha etam evam upaste etesham sarvesham atma bhavati. So again, you become the atma of the all these things, whatever is mentioned here already, right? The three things we have said: satyasya atma, vidyutaha atma, tejasaha atma. Now bAlAki by now has exhausted everything he knew. Okay, he doesn't know anything more. Whatever he says, this Raja says, I already know. What kind of a Raja? I thought I will come and tell a few things and gain something from him, correct? But now this bAlAki doesn't know what to do. So what did he do? He says, Tata uha bAlAki tushni masa. He didn't know what to say anymore. He became silent. Whatever he knew, all that he has already exhausted. Then ajAtashatru says to him, Tam hovacha ajAtashatru etavan bAlAki. So now ajAtashatru asking, is that all you know? Okay. So do you know anything more? Then bAlAki says, etavadhi iti hovacha bAlAki. He says, only this much I know. I don't know more than this. Okay? So only this much I know. So then ajAtashatru says what? This is you have wasted my time. So ajAtashatru tam hovacha ajAtashatru mrisha vaikilamam samvadishtha. So whatever you have said me, told me, it is all mrisha means generally we can say false. But here it is like, it is vyartha you can take. So it's already whatever I know only, correct? You haven't said anything new to me. Okay? So, it is all mrisha. So, then what happens? Then now ajAtashatru says, in fact in the Brihadaranyaka he says, there is something more. But here he directly says, I will teach you Brahman. Okay. I will now tell you what is this Brahman. So he says now what? Brahmate Brahmaniti hovacha. And further he says, what? Yo vai bAlaka etesham purushanam karta. So here this bAlake, it should be a thing, sambodhana. Hey. So he is saying now what? Yaha etesham purushanam karta. Yasya vai etat karma saveditavyaha iti. So what you should know? The one who is actually the doer behind all, whatever, in each and every upasana, there is some phenomenon is happening and we think that some devata is doing, but then who is the actual karta behind that devata? Okay. Because of whom all these devatas are functioning, correct? Bhishas, Madvatah, Pavate. Dishodepi Suryaha Ishasmadagnistendrascha. Like this, even in Taittiriya it is said. Even in Brihadaranyaka also it is said. So, under the Shasana of this Brahman alone, everything is really happening like that. Who is Sarveshwaraha? So, that is the one you have to know. And again, who's actually this karma, all whatever is happening is his karma only. What is all done by the one, that Swarupa of that Brahma you have to know. Veditavyaha. So like this, he says, so that means you have to now know Brahman. That is the real Brahman. Okay. Not like in isolation you are knowing that for each phenomenon also, that is also Brahman, but then you have to have this complete understanding. So once he says this what? Iti tatavuha bAlAki samit panihi pratichakrama upayaniti. Pratichakrama upayaniti. So after this was said, then here at least what we have to appreciate bAlAki, although he is known as Dripta bAlAki, he was very proud about his learning. But now he realized that he has something more to learn. Then this Raja knows that, then at least I should know. So he didn't think that I am a Brahmana, I should not learn from him and all. Wherever knowledge is, one should gain that. So that is coming even from the Upanishad itself here. Of course, the same thing came in the first chapter also, where Uddalaka and Shvetaketu and all, they went to Chitra. So here, this Brahma Vidya is now taught by this Kshatriya Raja to the Brahmana. And he approaches him with Samit Pani and all, means that means again he is showing a certain, you can say, the Vinaya. He is showing his humility that I have the right attitude to learn from you. Okay, then what? ajAtashatru now says, Tam hovacha ajAtashatru pratiloma rupam evasya. Pratiloma means this is not according to the tradition or whatever. Okay, it's not proper that a Kshatriya teaches a Brahmana, because there are some. In those days, at least it was all very rigid, correct? The Brahmana karma means it was all defined. Yajanam, yajanam, patanam, patanam, dhanam, pratigraham and all that. Okay, so Brahmana has to do yajna himself and also appreciate and do yajna for the sake of others like kings and whoever it is. Then Brahmana has to study, Brahmana only has to teach. Teaching was a Brahmana karma. Similarly, Brahmana has to give dhanam also. In fact, if Brahmana gets lot of wealth also, they should not keep. There are some restrictions for that. Or within 1 year or something, any excess wealth and all, you have to give it. That's why they have to do lot of yajna. So in every yajna, you have to distribute something. Dhanam is very important part of every Vaidika karma. So dhanam and then pratik, but they can also receive. That is why they can receive. So, or some people say dhanam dapanam also, as the Brahmana karma means you make others also give. Not only you give, you have to make others give. Like this, these are all the Brahmana karma. So, but now here Kshatriya is going to teach. So he says it is pratiloma, means it is not as per tradition. So we won't do it formally. Okay? So formally I cannot teach you. Like a Guru Sishya, so it will be informal. So in this context, we can also understand this kind of a thing goes on even today. Because if you take all these Mathadhipatis, so some of them become sannyasis very young, correct? They may have done Vedadhyanam, but all other Shastra, they have to study after becoming Mathadhipati, only they study. Even Mahapariyava and all you take, he became sannyasi at the age of some 13 or something, right? I don't know exactly how old he was. 8 only.
No, not 8.
I think he was older than 8, correct? Maybe 12 years or 13 years, I don't know. But whatever. He was actually a school going boy only at that time, I think. And then later on he was taught by whoever the Shastri Panditas who were there in the Matha. So this happens in all the Mathas actually. There are always some Asthana Vidwans are there, correct? They are the ones who teach even the Mathadipati initially. But then, as per tradition, Mathadipati is Sreshtaha or whatever, correct? Ashrama wise, he is elder. So he cannot really learn from the Shastri. At least formally he cannot have a Guru-Sishya relationship. So what they do is, the Shastri will teach somebody else. So always the class will be like, there will be some students.
Okay.
Then the Mathadipati will just go and sit on us by the side or whatever, like overhearing. Okay? It is not like directly the Shastri is not teaching the Mathadipati. It is always, Pujya Swamiji used to say this. So they will listen by sitting, they won't directly sit in front of the teacher also. They will be sitting on the side or something, and it's like overhearing only. So like this, informally it is taught. Okay? Because they also learn a lot. Every Mathadipati, they learn the Shastra, Nyaya, Vyakarana, everything they learn, Mimamsa, and even within Vedanta they learn up to Siddhi Grantha and all that, all the Granthas. Why I know is, I think even the Sringeri Sannidhanam, so when he was very new, so Omkarananda Swamiji came and told me. It seems that Sringeri Swamiji asked Omkarananda whether you have studied all the Siddhi Grantha or not. Because he was studying the Siddhi Granthas at that time, I think. This was some 10 years back maybe. But Omkarananda told, it seems that for having moksha you don't have to study all the Siddhi Grantha and all that. So even I have not studied all the Siddhi Granthas. But the Mathadipati means, after some time everybody looks up to you, correct? They conduct the sadhas, and even any some whatever Shankar, something is there, some doubt means they always go to the Acharya only as to clarify that. So they have to have great scholarship and all that. But everybody who is a mumukshu need not study all the text and all that. Of course, it depends on your interest also. Okay, how much you are interested, whether you want to teach or not. If you want to teach, you have to always learn more, correct? That's why we always say, even to teach LKG, you have to be a graduate. Like that. So, teaching means your level of, you have to learn more language, and you have to learn some other disciplines also somewhat, because Vedanta is not standing by itself, correct? But Nyaya and Vyakarana are supposed to be common for all the Shastras. They are common Shastras in our tradition. So everybody has to study. In fact, Pujya Swamiji used to say, even now if Rishikesh and other places you go, they first teach all this Tarka Sangraha and Siddhanta Kaumudi and all that. Then only they will even start teaching you Vedanta. Otherwise they call it Anyaya Vedanta. If you study Vedanta without knowing Nyaya, they don't take it very seriously. That's because the terminologies and the whatever the tools for reasoning and all are coming from Nyaya. We mostly adopt the Nyaya jargon. And Vyakarana is also required for even the comprehension skills and all comes from both reasoning and whatever, correct? Verbal and analytical. That's how we look at it. So verbal knowledge means, of course, they also, many of these people, if you traditionally study, they memorize the entire Amara Kosha. So vocabulary and all they have. We can't even think of that. But during our Gurukula Vasa, we started memorizing the Dhatu Pata and even the Paniniya Sutras and all that. But then we gave up very soon, because I think we thought if we start memorizing all that, then when will we study in Vedanta? We all started very late. Of course, in our course we were still very young. Relatively, if you see, we started younger, and so we studied a little bit more, you can say, because of that. But even then, we can never be equal to somebody who has started at the age of 8 or something and started memorizing all that, and their capacity is at a different level. Okay, so we can't match that. So then we started memorizing other things like Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and we started with Brahma Sutra Bhashya, but even that didn't go beyond the Adhyasa Bhashya. Okay, so but some others did better. One Sanishtananda Swamiji is there in Rajapalayam. I think he used to come and he memorized at least the entire lot of Brahma Sutra Bhashya itself. And the Brahma Sutras, all the 555 sutras, and he used to sometimes come and chant in front of us and all that. But also, right now whether he knows all that, I don't know. In fact, last year we went and met him in Rajapalayam. Nowadays he is learning so many languages. Suddenly he got interested and he knows he is learning Kannada, Telugu, Japanese and some other foreign languages also. Okay, so maybe he is keeping himself. But they say that if you keep learning, then all this dementia and things like that will not come. Okay, that is very important. So even if you are becoming old also, it doesn't mean that you have to stop learning. You have to be always learning. Anyway, so here, what is being said here? So he says, I cannot teach you formally. So then what does he do? So this is Pratiroma Rupameva Syat Yat Kshatriyaha Brahmanam Upanayita. So if the Kshatriya is leading the Brahmana or teaching the Brahmana, then it is Pratiloma. It's not in keeping with the tradition. But still he says what? Yehi vi eva tva nyapayishyamiti. So again here the vi and nyapayishyami you have to connect. In the Veda the prefix can be sitting somewhere else. So it is vinyapayishyami actually. That's why vyeva means if you go and search in the dictionary for vyeva you will not say anything. Understand that? Because it is vi, then you have to connect it with nyapayishyami. Vinyapayishyami. So tva eva vinyapayishyami means you come. Anyway, I will teach you. Okay. I will vinyapayishyami means we have to also take vispashtam nyapayishyami. I will teach you very clearly that till the time all your doubts are gone or till the time you are very clear about the subject matter, I will teach you. That's why vinyapayishyami is there. Vinyapayishyami, so I will teach you. And then also what he does, he is the king. But we have to assume that he comes down. Okay, from his Paryanka. Okay, he comes down from his asana and then holds the hand of bAlAki. He says, Tamha Panav Abhipadya Pravavraja. So then he takes hold of his hand and they both are walking. Okay, they are walking in this palace, we have to imagine. Okay. And then king is coming, but some fellow is still sleeping. That is the funny thing. So he must be somebody like me. So working all night and then you are sleeping in the day, correct? Or already they have discussed so much. And I think they started during the day and now they have come to midnight. So people have started sleeping. So when he catches hold of his hand and he goes, then there is one person who is sleeping, correct? Tauha Suptam Purusham Iyatuhu. So they come to somebody who is sleeping near the person. So they are walking and then they see somebody is sleeping. Or maybe the Raja wanted to take him to somebody who is sleeping because he is trying to now teach using a sleeping person. Okay, so he went wherever somebody is sleeping. Then what? Tamha ajAtashatru amantrayan chakre. So he now called out his names. Or he is just talking to the sleeping person. He is calling out. So what did he say? Brihate Pandaravasaha Somarajaniti. So now he is calling him out. Hey Brihat, hey Pandaravasaha, hey Somarajan. means that fellow does not even get up. He is sleeping, very deep sleep he is in. Okay. Sauha Pushnimeva Shishye. So he remained silent. Means he is like a deep sleeper. So in fact, he is somewhat like me even here. Because once there was an earthquake in Chennai. Everybody, Sri Vidya also ran away to the streets, I think. She tried to wake me up. I didn't wake up. So she left me in the house only and ran away to the... in Abhirampuram, we were there. Then next day she says that everybody was on the street. You were the only one sleeping in the house. Okay. I didn't get up.
Ground floor or?
Huh?
Ground floor?
No, first floor. We were in the first floor apartment. And everybody were... People all ran. I think this was... We were in Abhirampuram means what? It must be from 2001, I think. At that time there was a very mild earthquake. Huh?
Jan 28.
Okay, you remember that.
Yeah.
Some of you from Chennai may remember that still. So, there was a very... Although Chennai is not basically in a seismic region or anything, but there was a mild earthquake, I think. Anyway, so like that, this person, even the Raja is calling, he is still asleep, deep, he is in deep sleep. Tushnimeva Shishye. Okay. Then what? Tata Uhainam Yashtya Vichikshepa. So, okay, he did not wake, so he now called out. The names are also very interesting. Because these are another thing you have to understand is this Saguna Brahma Upasana. That Saguna Brahma itself is Prana and Prajnatma, that's how we are saying, correct? So here the idea is that when you are sleeping, Prana alone is still active. All other Indriyas, everything has dissolved. But now the Raja is using these words, means basically he is using the words of the Prana only. That's what we have to understand. These are the names of Prana. But even though you use those names and call, then the Prana did not respond, he is saying. That is what, that will come. In fact, we will see all that. The Bhashyakara, in fact, in this part there is a big Bhashya is there. Maybe that Bhashya arguments we will see. I will give you at least in a summary. I won't read the Bhashya and all that, of course. But we can still see what kind of arguments were made, and it's very interesting.
And these names also come earlier, I think.
Even here earlier it came, right? Same name. Initially only when Aditya and Chandrama and all were talked about, these same names were used, correct? Priyat, Pandara, Vasaha. So even there also, because this is a Brahma, it means this is Prana only. Behind all these Devatas, the Prana or Brahman alone is the one who is being done. This is also in one way the Prana Upasana only we have to say. So that's why these names are used, but still there was no response. That is an important point here. And then he holds this guy and shakes him. Okay. And then only this person gets up. Satata eva samuttasthau. Okay, so now, after he shook him, then he got up. Okay. And then what? ajAtashatru is now asking another question to poor bAlAki. Okay, he is asking, what is he asking? Kva esha etadvaloke purushaha ashayishta kva etad abhut kuta etad agamat kuta etad agad iti taduha bAlAkihi na vijajñau. Okay. So now he is asking what? Where did this person, when he slept, where did this person go? To which loka? Okay. Ayashishta, where did he go? Where was he when he was sleeping? And from where he came back when I basically took hold of him and violently shook him, Where did he come back from? Okay, that is the question now. bAlAki is asking. Sorry, ajAtashatru is asking bAlAki. Then bAlAki did not know the answer. He was just standing again. Pushni Tadu bAlAki na vijajñau. So he did not know the answer for this. Okay, the answer for this we'll see in the next class. We'll have a break. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.